Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center, is the show for football fans. Behind-the-scenes stories, personal moments, and authentic Buffalo pride all season long. Tune in on YouTube anytime, anywhere.
Welcome to Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center, and coming to you from the official home. Just let him go. Let him go. Right? Let him off you go, man. Let him off you go. At the official home of Buffalo Under the Helmet Wingnuts Bar and Grill. It's our first ever installment. I'm Rich Gensler, and we are joined by Pro Bowler from 2024, 6'5", 318, 7-year pro. Out of Penn State, he wears 66. He's got a killer mustache, makes great pizzas, and clearly just came here from the gym. Everybody give it up for Connor McGovern.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. All right, so I got to ask you right off the top, you've never had a Wingnuts wing?
Never had Wingnuts before.
Please explain yourself.
So my wife is not a fan of like saucy breaded wings, and my 3 years here, we've just never got up here for it.
Now, you're also a pizza guy. We saw the
Very
pizza
good.
stuff in Hard Knocks, right? Have you ever had the pizza at Wingnuts?
Nope, never had anything from Wingnuts before.
Okay. Shame. Shame, shame, shame.
Tonight's tonight, though. Tonight's tonight.
So AJ's going to get you all set up with wings and
Yes.
pizza, however you want it. We'll get you all taken care of. Let's get things started and talk about the Dolphins game a little bit, okay?
Yep.
Admittedly, I think everyone in the room, maybe they won't agree, but I think they would agree deep down inside. We're a little bit spoiled by the Bills' offense. I mean, you guys are averaging 30 points per game on the regular, right?
Yeah, 30 points, and we're still leaving meat on the bone right now. So, like, we're disappointed with ourselves, but then you look at it like, hey, we're leading the league in scoring. Like, we have such a chance of being one of the best ever offenses, and we're leaving all these points on the field, and we're still scoring 30-plus.
That's amazing that you say that, because I was going to ask you. So, the big thing with the Mafia, especially in the Dolphin game in the third quarter, is that little bit of a lull, right?
Yeah.
You're like 3 and out, 4 and out, whatever it was in that third quarter. So, obviously, Bills Mafia, because we're so spoiled by the number, they expect you guys to score in every single possession, as I know you do too.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking at the same thing.
But in the end, realistically, NFL, you know that's not going to happen. So how do you go from having a couple of different possessions where maybe you're just not moving the ball, maybe things aren't going there that well, to have a conversation on the sideline, whether it's amongst you and the O-line group or the entire offense or the coaching staff? What happens when you feel like there's that little bit of a lull?
Yeah, the first thing we do, we come off the sidelines. We have iPads on there, so we see what's going on. They're giving us some exotic blitzes, just trying anything to stop the run, because at that point we were just able to do whatever we want. So we got talking what we doing in the beginning of the game, what was really working for us. So we're like, all right, let's just go back to our basics, go back to the basic run game, and just get this thing back on track, and that's what we're able to do. Josh comes over and talks to O-line, talks to everyone. We go out and we're on the phone with Joe Brady. We just make sure we're all on the same page, and we just hit that reset button, and we're good, calm, cool, collected, all set, ready to go.
All right, this is a dumb question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What's the worst thing Josh Allen's ever said to you?
Worst thing he's ever said to me?
And there are children here, so,
I don't know. He's very positive all the time, so
right.
he really doesn't say anything bad. It's more the things that he doesn't say, so, like, when he's upset when he gives you, like, that certain look. So I would say he never said anything bad to me, but, like, you upset him or he's mad at you by the looks he gives you.
Yeah. But you guys don't have handshakes like he does with the receivers, or do you?
No, everyone.
You have a handshake.
He has a handshake with everyone on the offense.
I'm not going to ask you to do it with me because I'm not that quick and I wouldn't be able to adjust fast enough, but that's very cool. What can you describe in words what your handshake looks like?
Yeah, so ours is, he starts with Dion at left tackle, and then Dave, and then I'm the third person he does it. So he goes around the entire huddle before start of every game, before every practice. So we do ours is, since we do the snap exchange before every snap, so the offense starts with us. So we both make a key and an ignition. So we put the key in the ignition, both of us, and so because we start the offense.
I like it. I like it a lot. What do you think, Mafia? That sounds pretty cool, right? You probably never knew that. We learned something here on Buffalo Under the Helmet. Back to the Dolphin game. You played basketball. I'm going to ask you more about that coming up because I know you came from a basketball family. But what did you think about Josh's sort of, flip passes on the run? He tried it twice in the game. Obviously, the one it worked at Jackson, but How impressive was that coming from a basketball background?
It was very impressive, but the one that was even more impressive was last year in Detroit when he had the one, I think it was the Dalton Kincaid that ended up getting called back as a flag, but he tries doing very unique things. He thought he was going to take off for the end zone like normal Josh would. Either he's going to jump over someone, run through someone, and I think that's what the defense thought because there was 5 guys around. It's a 5v1 on Jackson. All of a sudden, he just flips it right through the hole and wouldn't even expect it. It was one of those where I'm in the middle of the play, and I just thought, like, that really just happened?
Tight ends. When we're talking about Jackson now, obviously Kincaid with a touchdown. Dawson's been great since he's been here. But the highest rated tight end in the league is a 5th-round rookie draft pick.
Yeah.
Talk about, I mean, now the Mafia's totally embraced this kid who's done amazing things that no one thought he was ever going to do, except for maybe you guys.
Yeah, we saw early on back in the spring how well he could just block. Like, he picked up the offense very fast and just how comfortable he was out there. Like, he was moving Joey Bosa, Greg Rousseau, like, guys like, all right, maybe if you're 4 or 5 years in the league, you start taking on, he's here for a few weeks, and he's just getting down and dirty, just moving guys out of the hole, not looking for a pass really. Like, he's just knew his job and what he has to do, and now he's reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about James Cook. I mean, he's showing again with his performance early on this season. He's carrying the ball. He's receiving the ball. He's got a lot more touches than he's used to typically, but he's shown that he's worth every single penny he asked for from his contract, right? Is there ever a play when you might feel like you didn't have it blocked up front, and yet he still explodes for some giant gain?
Yeah, you saw, what was it, 2 weeks ago when we were playing Jets? They blitzed, we got on the backers, and then David Edwards is able to push the linebacker by, and he makes some cut, and then he gets wrapped up, tackled, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, it's going to be a 10-yard gain, then boom, 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 gone, and it's a 50-yard touchdown. You're like, how did he just do that? We're back last year in Detroit when, again, they blitz, and he just cut it back, and he gets pulled down by the hair and just breaks through that, and he runs for a 60-yard touchdown. And it's like he has every play he has a chance just taking in the end zone. He's just a very electric player.
You mentioned Bosa. Talk about his impact, in what it felt like when he came to the team. Like, how excited were you guys knowing his pedigree and knowing what he's done in the league to this point to have him on your team? Yeah,
we were so excited. Like, him and his brother, some of the best DNs in the league for so long, and he's kind of had the injury bug the past few years. And when we got him, it was like a whole new, just seeing that the younger Joey again. It was just nice to see that fire reignited, and you're seeing it now, like how he's just playing freely, like he's just enjoys being here too.
Lots of energy for sure. All right, it's time for Paul's Donuts, sweet play of the game. If you're in need of a sweet treat, and I know you've had a lot of these, visit our friends at Paul's Donuts, a family-owned and operated business. Their hand-cut donuts are baked fresh daily on the premises the old-fashioned way. So, obviously, tight game, late in the game. Yep. It's only 2 captains on the team. 1 on offense, 1 on defense. We've talked about the offensive one, but it's time to talk about the defensive one. Talk about Terrell Bernard. And again, a big late game play from him, helping you guys. Now, the game wasn't over. You still had to finish it out, but helping him preserve the victory. I mean, talk about how clutch that was, and what was your reaction? And did you even see the play?
No, so at first, I was taking a drink and sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden, you just see, like, Reed progressing, and all of a sudden, you just see Terrell just fly through the field. And all of a sudden he just makes a catch and he just takes off down the sideline. But just you expect like the big guys on the team to make up, like he stepped up big when we needed it. Him just being that leader that he is and just how he commands the defense is just so fun to watch.
All right, you having fun?
Having a great time.
Mafia, you having fun? We're going to take a quick break, but before we go there, I got to tell you a little about this. We're going to call this the first stats timeout of the show. I had a chance to go down to Roswell Park recently, and I sat with Dr. Holton. Some of the game-changing stats that her crew down there at Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center are absolutely amazing. Take a look at this. Dr. Holton, awesome to meet you. I've been hearing some great things about what's happening in this lab, but let's get a little bit more specific about who possibly would need the statistics you're talking about in terms of transplants.
I treat patients with blood cancers. This includes leukemia, lymphoma, multiple myeloma, and many others. I have an amazing statistic for you.
Go, because I want to know how this can be such a game changer for people that are in this situation.
We have achieved 100% survival at 6 months for our donor transplant patients. We're trending over 90% at 1 year. Based upon publicly available data, this is the best transplant program in the world, and it's because of the research that we are doing at Roswell Park. But I do have a statistic I want to tell you about that's pretty worrisome. Only about 20 to 25% of patients who need a transplant actually get one today.
Why only 20%?
It used to be that transplant was a last resort. A donor transplant came with a lot of complications. It was a pretty risky procedure. Through multiple different clinical trials and advancements, outcomes are much better today.
Amazing, global, game-changing stats. Just
I have a bonus statistic for you.
more stats coming, everybody.
Now recovery is measured in days, not weeks or months. Most of our patients used to be hospitalized for 4 to 6 weeks. Now patients are out of the hospital in less than 14 days.
Dr. Holton, amazing, globally groundbreaking work you're doing right here at Roswell. Thank you so much. There's your stats. Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back to Wingnuts Bar and Grill, the official home of Buffalo Under the Helmet, brought to you by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. I'm Rich Gensler with the Wild Bills Mafia. They're going crazy in the house. Love it. Keep the energy for sure. Connor McGovern is our guest. Okay, so we talked about in the opening segment about the fact that you've never had wing nuts, but you just tried wing nuts for the first time, and
They're terrific. Easily, I would give it. The buffalo sauce was incredible. I would give that like a 9.6 out of 10. The special sauce, slightly under, like a 9.2.
okay.
Very, very good.
You said you could drink the buffalo sauce.
Easily, yeah.
Who would like to see him drink a mug of buffalo sauce?
Mug, okay.
We're not really going to do that, but I just wanted to, get a rush out of you guys.
Maybe if a certain amount of the donuts are sold this week. And
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that. We're going to be talking more Paula's Donuts, too, coming up in a little bit. So let's fast forward. And by the way, you had a short work week going into the Dolphin game and then the long weekend. So did you actually watch football? And, if you did, how do you watch football during the season? What kind of a viewer are you?
Yeah, so the first thing, I got to be just a dad this weekend.
Yeah.
Give my wife some free time so I can just hang out with my daughter. So that was a lot of fun. We started off just being able to watch college football on Saturday, just from noon all the way to night games. And then Sunday, just watching every game. I'm a little different. I watch the offensive line first, so I don't really care as much about where the ball is going. I'm watching the guys up front do all that. So it's a little bit boring how I watch football, but that's what I most enjoy.
That's crazy that all of a sudden, if you're watching football with Connor McGovern, there would be just a random play with no real excitement to the average fan. He'd be like, yes!
Exactly.
You turn into your own, our version of Jason Kelsey, basically, right? That's fast forward. Bills Saints. I know the players and the coaches. You're supposed to say to us that you don't hear the noise, you don't see the social media, you don't know the odds and all of that. You guys are really heavy favorites in this game. I'm sure you probably are aware of that after their loss to Seattle over the weekend. But a 1 o'clock game, kind of rare for you guys.
It is. Yeah.
Do you prefer a Sunday at 1, a night game when it's the only game in town? What do you like the best schedule-wise?
Selfishly, I like 1 o'clock games just because you get to get home, enjoy family time. But just there's nothing like a night game, especially in Orchard Park, how great the fans are. It literally feels like you're back in college, how everyone here just celebrates it, and you're just the only show in town, and it's a lot of fun. So as a player, I like night games better just because of the atmosphere. But as a father, I like the 1 o'clock's better because I get to go home, spend time a little bit with my family and my daughter before she gets to go to bed.
All right, so listen, you mentioned that you watched football this weekend. So if there was a game you were going to pick out based on your favorite team growing up as a kid, what game would that have been?
As a kid growing up, I was a Patriots fan. Yeah. Sadly, yes, I was a Patriots fan.
Huge groan, but I had the thrill and privilege of finding out the reason why before we came out and started the show. You should tell people because there's a good reason behind it.
Yeah, so you can't see now, but in my hair, behind my hair, I have a scar on my head. So when they won their Super Bowl against the Rams back in the day, I spent the night in the ER because I split my head open, and I told my parents whoever won the game I would be a fan of, and Patriots won, became a fan. So it was a great couple of years for me. Hard for everyone up here in Buffalo watching them go through all this success, but I had a great childhood watching them. And then once I got to college, I really fell off the whole watching the NFL as much, so I don't consider myself a fan anymore.
Good. You can't be if you're playing for the Bills, right? Back to the Saints, non-conference game. How much, because you had this extended time to study them up, did you, and how much do you know about them at this point?
The best thing, after Thursday night games, played a lot. I was in Dallas, so we always had 2 Thursday night games a year. So got used to that. So you got to take the first 48 hours just disassociate with football because you just did it so much. Like, just really relax, recharge, the social battery, to hang out with the family. And then once all the teams start playing Sunday, really deep dive into it. And I know everyone's like, oh, they're 0-3, like, but NFL records really don't matter. Like, every week, everyone's going to give you your best, especially since we're one of the top teams in the league, so everyone's gunning for us. And they have Kellen Moore as their head coach, who's I think is terrific. Like, I spent 4 years with him in Dallas. I think he's a football genius, so I know he'll have them ready. So we have to prepare for their best shot.
Yeah, I don't think anyone suspected the Vikings would win like they did yesterday, or certainly Carolina would have won like they did against Atlanta yesterday, or this past Sunday, rather. I beg your pardon. So, yeah, I mean, it's the NFL, and they actually do, even though they've given up 30 points per game, they do a lot of good things defensively, right? I mean, they come with a pass rush. Their run defense has been pretty stout,
They
right?
move around a lot. Like, they're always in the right spot. It's just teams have been able to just wear and tear on them, just drag them, they get ahead early and just stay on that lead. So I think we have to do a good job of that, just staying ahead of the curve and then stay ahead of the change this week.
Does the nothing to lose, I mean, is that real, like desperation, is that real in this league?
That's it's hard. Like, I think I saw a stat yesterday where teams start 0-3, it's a 0.9% chance of making the playoffs. And what's the best way to do that? Knock off the best team in the NFL. So everyone's going to give us their best shot.
I was going to say, you are the target now, right?
Yeah.
Beat the Bills. They're the Super Bowl favorites. Now it's even more pressure on you guys to win every week.
Yeah, and
but you welcome that, right?
Yeah, like, that's a great responsibility to have. Like, that just shows that we're doing the right thing now. And you wouldn't want someone just come in and just giving half effort. Like, it makes us better because everyone's giving us their best.
For sure. How does Sean? Obviously, you came to Buffalo, and I want to kind of figure out how you got here, like what the process was like, and why Buffalo was attractive to you, because there's so many reasons why it would be. Obviously, it's a little bit closer to home for you.
Yep.
Terry Pegula has a Penn State tie, right? Obviously, the Unicorn is playing quarterback 17.
Yeah, that helps.
All that helps. So was all that part of how you got here?
Yeah, so I knew after my fourth year in Dallas that I would be leaving, and I knew I wanted to go back up north, just be closer to home, just enjoy the weather a little bit more. So I started doing research the year before and really liked Buffalo's offense. Aaron Cromer was here, so I wanted a really good offensive line coach. So started narrowing down teams. So narrowing down teams where they had already good offense, a great offensive line coach, freak quarterback, which we have here. So Buffalo was kind of the shining bright star, and it was all right, if we could pick somewhere to go, let's go to Buffalo. Didn't hear anything at first, and then I remember, so one of my best friends from college, Ryan Bates, who played here for a while, and I just having to reach out. We were just talking, and I just casually mentioned, I was like, hey, how's it in Buffalo? He's like, oh, honestly, I enjoy coming to work every single day. It's just a lot of fun, and we're really good at football also. I was like, oh, that sounds better and better. And then I remember Buffalo reached out. They're one of the last teams to reach out in free agency and start talking to, and then I was on the fence between a couple other teams, and Josh actually gave me a call and gave me a sales pitch. And I was like, all right, that's nice. He's the only player that's reached out to me. And I was like, he truly has to be a good guy. And I'm like, maybe it's meant to be. And sure enough, signed here, and it's been the best decision of my life.
Do you remember that conversation vividly? I mean, do you remember the first thing he said to you?
I don't remember the first thing exactly. So I was in the airport in Hawaii, and I remember him calling me and just talking to me. He was like, oh, you're in Hawaii? He's like, I'm actually on my way to Hawaii right now. So that's where we first started talking, and then talked about our connection to Buffalo and just Penn State and everything else, and all the stuff he already knew about me. I was like, oh, this guy legitimately cares about this team, and he really does.
Or he is someone that is feeding him a lot of information, and he just retains it well.
He does retain it well, but he goes out and he knows everything about everyone on the team, I will say.
So if you're in the league, because you weren't here, but you know what Josh was,
yeah,
and he calls you, that sounds like it was very meaningful. You automatically had the respect for him.
Yeah, for sure. I had great respect before that. I knew how great he was, because I remember in 2019 when you guys came down and played us on Thanksgiving, and I remember it was a tied game, and it's fourth down, you do the quarterback sneak, he fumbles it, picks it up, and runs through 3 or 4 guys, gets the first down, does the celebration. I was like, oh, this guy is legit. And then year after year, he just got better and better, and I get to go now being part of that. It's even more special.
All right, well, look, let's take a break. I want to come back and get into more in-depth with you, what you do in the community, some of the things that I know we're going to incorporate Paula's Donuts with for you in segment number 3 as we continue with Buffalo Under the Helmet with Connor McGovern here at Wingnuts, brought to you by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Be right back.
Buffalo Under the Helmet is presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you make any treatment or surgery decisions, please spend just one day at Roswell Park. And sponsored by Paula's Donuts, made with love. Wingnuts, our official home. Athlete Accolades, where the love for the game lives on. Vision Financial Group, your future, our focus. And Team Lammy, the full-service agency to connect your brand to the Buffalo community.
Back at Wingnuts Bar and Grill, the official home of Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center, Rich Gensler. And the Mafia.
Yep. Love it.
And Connor McGovern. By the way, Cowboys fans suck. Am I right? Compared to these guys?
There's no one that compares to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even fair.
That's right. Oh, by the way, your aunt says hello.
Yeah, I saw that. She's got fans everywhere too.
That's hysterical. There's a group in the back, and they have big signs that say, "Hey, Connor, your aunt says hello." And you said that she goes,
yeah, she's part. Like, she makes friends wherever we go. So like every team I've been a part of since college, she finds friends in each organization and just becomes very good friends with a lot of different people.
All right, so we were also talking about something you guys do on Saturday mornings with the team in terms of a local hometown donut shop, Paula's Donuts. So tell me a little bit about what happens on Saturday mornings with Paula's.
Every Saturday morning we make the rookies go out and get us donuts. So in the O-line room we have about 7 or 8 dozen donuts, I would say. We get our pickings. We always take the best donuts first, and then the rest of the team slowly start coming in, just picking out the scraps from us.
I was going to say, between the 53 O-line group and the practice squad, what is there, 11 or 12 guys total?
13 of us.
13 of you.
Yep.
Okay.
And
so
then
13.
coaches, so there's 16 of us in a room altogether.
Okay, so I'm trying to do the math. 16, 8 dozen. Okay, so so
there's a couple of the donut holes in there, so they're a little bit smaller. So
all right. But for you to inhale 6 Paula's Donuts would be really impressive if you could do that.
There's some guys that could easily do that. Yeah, we have some eaters on the O-line, I would say.
So I understand, and we actually have these because we asked you what your favorite Paula's donut was, and you open that up because I think that's the one you like. It's the cake donut with vanilla frosting
and a little caramel on top.
Caramel swirl.
Perfect.
So there they are, and I guess we're supposed to have one as we sit here. It's going to really kind of hamper my interview and his answer skills for sure, but we got to try it. I'm only doing this because Connor told me to.
We have to.
I'm kidding. I love Paula's Donuts. These are great. Here we go. Ready? Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, here we go. I told you. Good God. Absolutely delicious.
That is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Really, really good.
That was good. That little swirl of caramel on top.
Yeah. And now I can't talk.
Stuck your roof of your mouth a little bit?
A little bit. So here's what we're going to do. Take a drink quickly.
Yep.
So from Friday to Friday, September 26th through October 3rd at all Paula's locations, a portion of the proceeds on your favorite donut, the cake with vanilla frosting and the caramel swirl, will benefit your chosen cause, the Penn State Don.
Yep.
Pretty awesome stuff. Tell folks about that, and when they go to Paula's Donuts and get this special donut for that full week, how they can help.
Yeah, basically, you go to Paula's, order these donuts, please, and then a portion of the revenue of those donuts will go to Penn State Don. Very special charity to me and all Penn Staters. Basically, I didn't know much about it before getting to college and how much the university, everyone involved gets into this. It's a great show every year. They do a 48-hour dance marathon, and they really get into it, and they raise millions upon millions of dollars, and it's just a great cause to be part of. Very,
very cool. So again, September 26th through October 3rd, the special Connor McGovern donut, and portion of the proceeds will go to Penn State Don. Very cool. Another element that you've been a part of over the years, and part of the reason why you're here tonight with us, is through Team Lammy and the Micah Hyde softball game. So we were talking a little bit before the show started about your experience at the softball game. So this past year, you had an elbow injury, so you couldn't swing and hit, and that must have killed you because of the short porch out there playing softball, right?
Yeah. So I only strictly played defense this year. Fun fact, my wife actually played softball at Penn State. So she was critiquing everything, and like, the past 3 years she critiques everything I do, especially on the softball field. And she told me not this swing just because shouldn't do it one-handed. But all the little stuff, I played first base, had a couple outs, I would say a couple good stretch outs and caught the ball. But as soon as I got home, she's like, hey, like, when you reached out, you had the wrong foot on the bag. Just minor little details. I was like, oh, we're doing it for fun. She's like, it's still wrong, isn't it?
And obviously, Sean McDermott and the coaching staff and the management in Buffalo, that team building sort of exercise is very important to you guys, right?
Oh, very. And then especially like how great the fans are here. Like you go, like, filled up the entire like softball park. Like the past 3 years, there's not a single seat open. Rain, sunshine, no matter what, the fans here are great, and they'll come out and support anything.
So I'm going to start. I'm going to go back to you rather and stay with sports. So you were telling me too that your mom was a basketball coach, right? And you were a very good basketball player in high school.
I wouldn't say very good, but yeah.
And you were about the same height you are now in high school.
Yes, I wasn't 330 pounds, but yes, I was pretty tall.
So were you a back to the basket guy, or did you have some handle? Mom's a coach. So.
Yeah, so I was a power forward, but I did have some hands on me. My mom made sure I was very fundamentally sound in everything I do, from dribbling with my right and left hand to just simple layups. Like we practiced nonstop every single day, and just literally before we even started playing basketball, like I would warm up every day and just take a shot to a tennis ball's under, and then back up a couple feet and more shots, and just every little attention detail she coached me on for basketball.
Okay, who's winning the game of 21? You or Josh?
Oh, easily me. I'll back him down. Yeah.
You just overpower him?
No, that's I'll just wear him down.
That's fantastic. I got to ask you about Penn State and about 2 guys that you played with. You played with Saquon Barkley.
Yes, I did.
What can you tell us about Saquon Barkley that maybe we don't know?
Don't know. Well, you see everything. He's a freakishly just good athlete on the field, but he's an even better person off the field.
Yeah.
I would say that, like, you don't get to see him as much doing stuff like, but he's just a genuinely great person.
And by the way, his Instagram and his powerlifting is squats.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
I remember one of my first experience at Penn State. Like, I enrolled early, so it's my first week there. Like, the guys have already been there for a few semesters. I think I'm supposed to be in high school at this point. I remember I'm walking in doing like my orientation. I just hear banging in the weight room. I'm like, what's going on in there? Walk up closer, a couple of racks, hear banging again. And I get up to the front row, and I see it's Saquon on off day just hankling 405 like it's nothing, just slamming off the ground, pick it up, slamming off the ground. And I'm like, who is this guy? And like coming off his true freshman year, I was like, what 18-year-old should be doing that? I'm like, look at myself. I'm like, I just turned 18. I'm like, I can't even do that right now. And he's just one of those people.
He's a freak.
Yes.
He's a freak. Another guy that's a freak. And I'm curious to know if when you first saw him, you thought maybe he would end up being who he was going to be and who he is now.
Yeah.
He was a freshman, Micah Parsons at Penn State. So did you know, was he that guy then? Or
he was that guy back in high school. Like,
Yeah.
I remember, so he was 2 years younger than I was, but I remember through recruiting, like we met, he's from Harrisburg, I'm from Scranton, so like we got to know each other before we even got to Penn State. And he was the same size back in high school he is now. Like, he was just a man amongst boys out there, and you're like, all right, this guy is special. And then you got to Penn State, a true freshman, terrorizing everyone in the Big Ten. You're like, all right, he's a real deal. And then remember when he got drafted to Dallas with me again, it was just like, all right, like no matter what, he's gonna shine.
Unbelievable player, sure, and you had that chance to interact with him. Let's talk about Hard Knocks a little bit.
Yep.
Obviously, they have pizza here at Wingnuts, and there's one waiting for
Yeah.
you as we speak, so you can try it. But obviously, the pizza party has become a thing.
Yes,
So
it
talk
will.
about that experience with Hard Knocks being in your house
Yeah.
with all of your teammates there and
Yeah.
all those pizzas, and tell the folks how many you had to make in the process.
Yeah, we made a lot of pizza, but before we even started there, they showed up. So I think we started that day at 4 o'clock. That was when the party starts. They got at the house right around noon, 1 o'clock, and they filmed for about 3 or 4 hours before the party even started, just getting all the B-roll behind the scenes. So it was weird. Like, at first, it was a little awkward. Like, I'm in the kitchen trying to, like, prep things, make myself look like I'm doing things, and there's literally 7 or 8 cameras around, people, and I got to talk to the director, but I'm not allowed to make eye contact. It's a little awkward. Then when the guys started showing up, it was easier to get into that motion. Like, now I'm actually doing stuff, cooking pizzas. And fun fact, like, they filmed for over 5 hours, and it was like, I think, a 5-minute segment on the episode. Like, it's crazy how much footage they actually get, and then they have to cut things in and out and like make things fit in. It's an insane job that they do. But I think we end up making probably, I would say, roughly like 25 plus pizzas, and then we do Detroit style pizzas also on top of that, calzone, and we have a bunch of appetizers, and we have desserts, so we hit everything.
So basically, you had no fun.
Oh, I have a great time. No, I legitimately enjoy that. Like, so 3 days in advance, I'm making the dough. Like, that takes like 4 or 5 hours to make everything. Then the night before, I'm prepping, cutting up like pepperoni, just like and doing cheese, everything like that, just so I'm ready. And then about 3 or 4 hours before I start prepping everything, get the dough out, making sauce, doing all that stuff. So that's just fun to me. I just get to enjoy and relax. So I have a great time.
Does that come from home? I mean, were your parents into that, or is that just something over the years, maybe in college? Or
my mom cooked always growing up, so like I always watched her cook. But then when I was in during COVID, when I was in Texas and living by myself, Texas really didn't have great pizza down there, and where I grew up, we had great pizza. So I was like, I'm just going to teach myself. I got nothing else to do, and so that turned into one thing and the next, and then worked up the courage to have a couple guys over. They loved it, so then that turned into having more guys over. And then when I got here, next thing you know, like it started with just the O-line. Now it's almost 40 guys on the team, and then plus wives and children are always over too. So we have upwards to 40, 50 people at the house.
That's crazy, and I hope they return the favor.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Good. So if Wingnuts, if AJ gives you the wings sauce, will you give him your pizza recipe for your signature pizza? What is your signature pizza, by the way?
I'd say the one that everyone loves the most is pepperoni hot honey. But the thing that everyone goes crazy for, like that last literally seconds, is the cheesesteak calzone I make.
Okay.
So that as soon as it comes out, it doesn't matter how hot it is, guys are just reaching and grabbing it, and they're scolding their mouths, but it goes within a matter of seconds.
So AJ, make some space on your menu for Connor's stuff, okay? And then you can give him your wing recipe, and maybe you'll have a wing party instead of a pizza party next time.
I'll gladly add wings to the add wings to the party.
All right, stay right here at Wingnuts Bar and Grill as we continue with Buffalo Under the Helmet. Of course, it's sponsored by our friends at Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Q&A from you, Mafia, coming up next with Connor McGovern from the Bills.
Perfect.
Buffalo fans know what it means to celebrate heart, grit, and tradition. That's why Athlete Accolades is here, helping you capture those unforgettable sports moments with custom plaques, memorabilia, and displays made just for fans like you. Whether it's honoring a legendary play, your favorite player, or your own sports journey, Athlete Accolades turns memories into keepsakes you can treasure forever. Check them out at athleteaccolades.com and bring the pride of Buffalo into your home.
Welcome to Wingnuts Bar and Grill. Back for our final segment with Connor McGovern. We're sponsored, of course, by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. And Wingnuts is the official home for Buffalo Under the Helmet. All right, final segment, Connor. I got to ask you a question before I get to the and I'm hogging the questions. I'm sorry. But I had one that I forgot to ask you about. Is it weird that there are two Connor McGoverns that play the same position in the National Football League?
Too.
In the same, you're right.
So the other Connor just retired, actually. But I remember all the way back to high school. So he's a couple years older than I was. So when he was at Missouri, it was even weird. So high school, I wore black and yellow. Missouri, they wear black and yellow. He wore number 60. I wore number 60. He played the same position. It was just very weird back then. And then I got to Penn State. He got drafted by the Broncos. And just always this weird coincidence. We always play the same position, dark hair, mustache, everything. And then I remember meeting with the Broncos in the pre-draft process, and they're like, yeah, he knows about you. Like, there's a very real possibility that we might be playing next to each other. And when I got that, we played against each other, I think, 4 or 5 times together. And one of us has always been hurt, so we've never actually met each other. So I don't know if it's a universal aligning that, like, we're not able to meet each other in person. But we played with a couple guys that have played with both of us, and it's just a very crazy, trippy thing.
I think the jersey exchange would be funny.
Yeah, just McGovern on the back.
Right.
Same number, same. It's crazy.
It would be really, really funny. All right, let's get some questions from the audience. Here we go. This is from Lauren. This is a good question. What player did you look up to growing up?
Let's see, growing up. So when I was a kid, again, I was a Patriots fan, but didn't really watch offensive line just because you don't really watch offensive line, especially when younger. Like, I refound the respect for this position, but growing up, I was a big fan of Rob Gronkowski. He was always my favorite player.
Buffalo born and bred.
Exactly.
Yeah. Does he know that?
I don't think so. But
well, now he does because he's watching. Everybody say hi to Gronk. He's watching right now. Hey, Gronk. Great question. Thank you. Andrea writes in another great question. How often do you call your mom?
Call my mom. So don't call my mom every night. So me and my dad talk every night, and so my mom's always there too. So back since I was in college, always like my dad would call me after every single practice. How was practice? How was practice? And then I would talk to him for a few minutes about football, and then my mom would come in and we'll just talk about life. So don't call my mom as I do now more since I've had my daughter, like FaceTime, and because she likes picking up the phone, calling grandma, we call her. But I would say me and my dad call each other a lot more, and then when we're done talking about football, me and my mom talk about life then.
Is it weird that, I mean, you grew up a Patriot fan, being a fan of, hate to say it, but probably today the GOAT, right?
Yeah.
Is it weird thinking that you're centering now who will be the GOAT someday?
I right now like love playing with Josh, but like it's crazy. Like you don't really think about that.
Yeah.
But I know when I'm retired, I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, that was an awesome experience. Like, and like now you know, like, oh, he's one of the best to ever do it. Like it's a lot of fun being his center. But I know when I retire, like there'll be a refound respect for that also.
And that is something about what Sean McDermott has done in the locker room, and Josh in particular. There's just so much humility in that room and so much fun. And it starts with him, right?
Yeah, like I would say he's literally a golden retriever as a human being. Like he's just great. He's always the same guy, 24/7, never ups and downs. Just he's just Josh 24/7, and that's what I love about him.
That's awesome. Another question from Dominic: do you play any video games, and if so, what's your favorite?
I do. In my free time, I love playing video games. Don't play as much since I've had my daughter, so it's a little bit harder now. But growing up, I've always been a big gamer. I'm a big fan of RPGs, role-playing games. So my all-time favorite is The Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest games of all time.
Okay, I need to research it then.
Yep.
Clearly, I mean, I'm basically Call of Duty and Madden. So what was your Madden score? And are you happy with it?
So I don't play sports games. That's the one thing I don't do. So like I get enough football on a daily life. So I don't play any football games.
Who's your basketball team growing up? Were you Sixers?
No. So I've never been a truly fan of like a team. I always followed certain players.
Okay.
So my favorite player growing up was Kevin Durant. So wherever he was at, I was a fan of. So,
KD.
Yeah.
All right. Margarita wrote in for pizza night. Let's go back to pizza night. Who has the weirdest toppings and what are they? In terms of a request for a pizza, who would that be and what are they?
There's not really many weird toppings, I would say. Trying to think. I think the weirdest we get is like just the sheer amount of stuff people will put on. Like, I think we usually have like 4 or 5 different cheeses, like banana peppers, pepperoni, ham, bacon, sauce, basically whatever you put it. I know there's some people that literally just put everything on there, so it's just a jumbled mess. And then for appetizers, we have different meatballs and like different steak options. And I know guys will take literally all that stuff and just put it on top and then drizzle honey over it. So there's nothing really gross, but it's just like the sheer amount. It's kind of like, oh, this is kind of a little gross, a little disgusting.
So nobody does an elf pizza. There's no candy or anything.
No, I won't let that happen.
Yeah, okay,
no,
that's good.
That's not going to mind.
That's sacrilegious.
Yeah.
Right. Well, look, and lastly, the mustache is great. Talk a little bit about the evolution of the mustache.
I'll tell you this, my wife absolutely hates the mustache. So we started a few years ago. Me and Dave Edwards had a pact, like, all right, for camp, we're going to grow out our mustaches. Our wives can't tell us no. We're at camp, so we could do what we want kind of thing. And then it's then like, all right, I could keep a mustache as long as we keep winning. And last year, I think we made it the first 3 or 4 games we won before we lost and had to shave it off. And then this offseason, went back to it. And then just kind of, I think we're slowly starting to wear down my wife, or she's allowing me to keep it longer. But until she gives me, like, all right, it's got to go, I'm keeping it.
Awesome. Well, look, great to see you. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, Wingnuts, Bills Mafia, give it up for Connor McGovern. And our first episode here of Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center and our friends at Paula's and a number of other great sponsors. Look, our next show taping will be on October 6th. Of course, check social media, find out where we're going to be. It'll be at Wingnuts Buffalo, so make sure you're there for that. Pretty much same doors opening and same start to the show. So we look forward to seeing you there on October 6th. And we'll leave this Buffalo Under the Helmet episode with a Go Bills!
Go Bills!
Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.
I'm a first man. Oh, bye.